Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Adventurium April, and this is Kim. So I am aware that it is no longer April. As I'm filming this, it is May the 6th. And I should have done this on like May 4th, so I got to say like May the 4th be with you. But anyway, so yeah, this is just gonna be like Adventurium April extended because I didn't get to put out all the content that I want to put out in April, which is my own fault, I guess. I was getting ready to be productive and really creative, but my creative system just kind of shut itself down, and it just told me that I needed a lot of quiet time and a lot of moments of stillness. So I did that, but then I want to finish this little month of content planned for April. So anyway, here I am. So in this video I want to talk about some of the basic things that I feel like are important when it comes to like having an online tarot business or just having like an online spirit-centered business. And this is sort of from the perspective of like, if I were to choose a tarot reader online, if I were to choose a tarot reader, what are the things I look for personally, and then this translates into like how I run my business and what are some of the things I feel like are important, like things that need to be present, things especially if you're starting out. And this is also from the perspective of like being like kind of like an insider behind the scenes. What are some of the things you can do to organize and streamline your tarot business? So that's sort of like the two angles that I'm starting from, and I'm just gonna be touching on like a collection of random, like just a collection of topics, like just things that I feel are important for starting like a tarot business, or just things that are important to have when you have a tarot business. Okay, so I would say the first thing, well, it's an online business, like the first thing I would say, the most important thing, I feel like you can't have an online business without having a social media presence, right? You need to, and I know there's like a lot of different social media platforms out there, but I would say the essential would be like you need to have a website, you need to have a physical home, so that would be like your shop or like your base, your home base. It's like if you need to have a website so that people know how to find you, people can check you out, they can check out what you provide and who you are, what you're about, and the services and the products that you provide. Like if you don't have a website, I feel like it might be kind of hard, but then again, like this is just based on my own experience. I just feel like having a website is kind of like the standard. And then alongside of that, there's like other social media venues such as YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you don't have to engage with every single one of those social media. Like for me, I can't do Twitter. I tried, but I'm just too rambly for Twitter, and then I'm not really into the whole idea of Twitter, so I just don't have a Twitter. And I have a Facebook page, but I'm not super active on it. I try to do like a weekly reading on my Facebook page, hoping to grow my Facebook page, but then I just like didn't really have the time to really grow it and dedicate time to create those free weekly readings. So that kind of just like died. So I just use it to share stuff from time to time. And mostly for me, like I'm mostly active on Instagram. I kind of found a purpose for my Instagram, which is to upload my doodles, my doodled spreads, and quotes and poetry that I write. So like it's like a very creative outlet for me on Instagram. And sometimes I share a picture or two on the decks I just bought or the decks I'm studying and that kind of thing. And then for YouTube, I feel like YouTube is a good way for people to really connect with you because they get to see your face, they get to see you, they get to see you gesticulate, they get to get like a vibe of who you are. They can really like, I think it really establishes like a sense of trust and familiarity. Like I feel like if I say I'm looking for a tarot reader online and then I checked out their YouTube, I checked out the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, and what they think, how they feel, just how they project themselves and that kind of thing, I would just feel like that helps you make a better decision too, as to like say, do I want to purchase a reading from this reader or not? Do I want to follow this reader or not? That kind of thing. So yeah, like I said earlier, you don't need to be active on every single social media. I just feel like for me, social medias are kind of ways to engage with people who are interested in my content, but mostly for me it's like my creative outlet. It's kind of like, wherever I feel like I have something to say or something to create. For example, I put on YouTube videos because I You know, I want to create just because I kind of felt like it. I know this is like a kind of like a terrible sort of it's not really like a legit reason, I guess, but it just, you should pick the social medias that are sort of like natural channels for you when it comes to expressing yourself and connecting with other people. And YouTube is great. It took me a while to get onto YouTube because I was really shy. Like my first venue for connecting with people was my blog or my website. And because I'm a writer and I just like writing a lot, and then blogging about tarot cards was my first sort of way to put myself on the map and let people know that I'm here. And yeah, but I feel like you should have a website for sure. And then when it comes to websites, I recommend WordPress. I know like it gets a little bit technical, but I think there's like a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and WordPress is just so great because there's like a lot of ways to customize your website and domain. And I can't say I feel like I haven't really utilized WordPress as much as I know that it has to offer, but I think from a lot of the resources that I studied, they said WordPress is really good to go because it gives you a lot of room for customization and plugins compared to like if you use Squarespace. It's just kind of like, you know, other websites that are sort of built for you in the sense that's really easy. And it's like if you down the road you have all the content there and you want to make some drastic changes, and it's going to be really hard because it doesn't have as much customization. So I haven't tried out any of those websites. It's just kind of based on what I study, so maybe it's different now, but who knows. But I definitely recommend WordPress. It's really great. I've always just used WordPress for blogging, and it's just so for me it's pretty intuitive because I am pretty quick when it comes to figuring stuff out. But yeah, I think flexibility and customization is a good benefit when it comes to WordPress. Anyway, so I think that's it for social media for now. And of course, like if you have a social media presence, you need to continue to grow your audience by putting out consistent content and engagement. You know, don't just like post YouTube videos. You should check out other tarot tubers' YouTube video and comment, see what they're saying. Join a discussion, join a community. Like you don't just want to be like standing there in the community. You want to go out and talk and have conversations. Like when you put out consistent content, it shows people that you're there and shows people that you're committed and you're serious. That's one of the things that I look for when I want to, you know, decide if I want to work with a tarot reader, is do they have consistent social media engagement? Because if they just have a shop there and they're just like, oh, and then their tarot readings look really cool, but they don't have any other social media presence, like that worries me a little, because I did have a few bad experiences with purchasing a reading and then the shop just closed, and that was like really annoying. So like having a consistent, you know, putting out consistent content and engagement really shows people that, you know, you're committed to your business, and then you're committed to expressing yourself and letting people know what you think and sharing and giving and providing a service. And it just builds a lot of trust and interest in the people that you want to attract. Okay. And yeah, and also like putting out consistent content, even just from the very beginning. I feel like you don't need to feel like you have to put out something that's completely perfect, something that's completely representative of you. You just have to keep creating what speaks to you, because it's also like a journey, right? The more you create, the more you discover who you are, the more you discover what your brand is, or your biz identity, like what it is, the more you discover your voice. You know, even if you're very confident and certain about like the message you want to put out, it still evolves the more you create. You know, the more you create, you deepen into your own messages, you deepen into your identity and who you are, and you become more connected with spirit and your creativity. So this also just like something very beneficial to do for yourself by constantly creating and engaging with your audience. Okay. So another thing is, if you want to set up a shop for tarot readings, for online tarot readings, I think there's like a lot of ways to do this, but for me, I have a shop on Etsy. I know there's like other stores or shops similar to Etsy, and you can set up like, you know, like you can set up like a tarot reading service there. You can also just do it through a website and with a PayPal button. And I think there's like pros and cons for both. I would say for PayPal, obviously it's a direct source and stream of income, like it just goes to you and it doesn't go through any like other bank transfers or third parties. You don't have to pay listing fees and stuff like that. So I think having a PayPal button on your website, it's just like a direct link. And I know like some people say it's more professional. I think maybe it depends, because for me, I feel like the first time I purchased from someone, I feel like Etsy kind of just, or having like a third party store, it just kind of feels safer because there's this third party that sort of that can mediate. It's like if this reading doesn't go through, then you can get a refund. And then you also get to see all the feedback and the stars of your past customers and clients. So I personally feel like if you're just starting out, I think Etsy or other platforms similar to Etsy might be a pretty good idea because it's just so easy to set up. Like you have to pay like 10 cents American for like to publish the listing, but that's not really a lot. And there might be some like bank transfer fees or like currency fees, but it's not like too bad. I know PayPal charges like currency transaction fees too when you like send money back and forth. But anyway, but yeah, I've been using an Etsy shop to do tarot readings, and I feel like Etsy shop is pretty. I don't know. It just feels like it's at least for me, from my perspective, I feel like when you're starting out, it's a good place to start because you get to see like all the reviews are there and all the ratings are there, and there's also this feeling like you're sort of like being washed over by a third party, so you wouldn't get scammed. I know that I think if you consistently put out content, I think people would develop that trust for you, but I think it's just that extra sort of safety net or incentive. I don't know if this makes sense. It's like if someone just stumbles upon your shop and they decide to try you out, and then maybe they don't have the time to check all of your content and to get a sense of fear. Maybe they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna get a tarot reading from this person. I feel like they're more likely to buy on an Etsy store just because like if anything goes wrong, then you can always just have a refund. So I feel like there's a sense of safety there, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. That's what I think. And anyway, but that's sort of like the technical side of it. I want to talk about like when you set up your Etsy shop, or your online tarot shop or online tarot services. What kind of readings do you offer? I want to talk about like format and ethics. I know this video is kind of like a bit all over the place. I just have some random topics, but well, hopefully you still benefit from this video. Anyway, so what kind of readings do you offer? I would say like, there's like different ways to organize this. I know like a lot of readers just categorize it by the size of the spread, like it's a 3-card reading, it's a 6-card, it's a 10-card, it's a 78-card reading, stuff like that. Or you can just categorize by life areas, right? It could be like a relationship reading, career reading, family reading. And you can also like categorize by different spreads that you use. Could be Celtic Cross, could be the Guiding Star, could be, I don't know, like you can categorize it by spread. But I would say like how you pick the kind of readings that you offer is based on the topics that are important for you and the things that you care about and things that you value as a person. So for example, like for me, I never thought about like you shouldn't try to cater to what people might want from you. You should just try to, I don't know, just always just follow your own, express your own voice, I guess. Just kind of create the things that are like the based on topics that matter to you, because those readings are going to be the best readings anyway from you, because that's really something that's close to your heart and your wisdom. And the people that follow your social media content are probably attracted to the messages that you've already been putting out. So those messages should be something that's like unique and close to your heart, if that makes sense. So don't try to cater to what the masses want. I mean, if you're just trying to like make a quick buck or something, but I feel like if you're in this business, then it's probably more than that, right? It's about expressing yourself and it's about sharing your wisdom and your experiences. So I think, you should put out tarot readings that are a reflection of your values. So for example, like for me, I'm really into the idea of like self-discovery and understanding yourself and cultivating self-awareness and knowing that some of the qualities that you have like aren't necessarily like just singularly strengths or just weaknesses. The qualities that you have can become positively or negatively charged depending on different situations, depending on how you look at them. And then the most important thing is to learn how to navigate your own personality. So I have a lot of readings that help people tap into that idea of self-discovery and navigating your personality instead of trying to like be more of this or be less of that, or trying to like fix a bad habit or try to cultivate a good habit. Like I feel like personalities aren't really habits to be cultivated. It's just about understanding who you are, trying to, you know, develop yourself as much as you can. Always release your wounds, your fears, doing your best to heal, doing your best to become a better navigator on this journey of becoming yourself. So I have a lot of readings about that. I have the personality compass, I have the tarot readers compass, I have a lot of compass readings, relationship compass, because I really believe that knowing yourself and knowing who you are and how you make decisions is key to helping you make better decisions. So I have a lot of readings for that, and I also love storytelling, and I also have a lot, you know, like I remember somebody, I took a picture on my bookshelf, and then I wanted someone to just, and then it was like a little activity where they describe, based on the picture of your bookshelf, what card is your bookshelf. And most people say Page of Wands because they all see all the titles like Harry Potter, Alice in Wonderland, and somebody called my shelf like an imagination station. So I feel like that's like a big part of who I am, which is like having a vivid imagination, really into storytelling. So a lot of my tarot readings are themed, like the Alice in Wonderland reading, Mad Hatter reading. I don't have a Harry Potter reading, but lots of those kinds of readings. So, and all of the readings I offer are sort of like from my creativity, and also from basically just from the things that I like and from the things and topics that I care about. So when you're deciding what kind of readings you want to offer, you should just go from there. And when it comes to formats, there's like lots of formats that you can consider. For me, my primary format is email. Also, I am sort of revamping my site right now. I'm going to offer like audio and video and maybe like an actual live Skype session. But like it's up to you, like, because in the beginning I just feel like text is sort of like the most, the primary sort of like my creative, that's where my voice is through writing. But right now I'm trying to expand, you know, I'm trying to like unleash my throat chakra, but that's another story. Anyway, so so like I think when it comes to, but either like whatever format that you decide, say email, audio, video, Skype sessions, I think it's important for you to figure out like a basic format. So for email or text-based readings, you want to figure out like, you want to create a template so that you can use, so you have a consistent look when you send out readings, right? You want to maybe have a banner that symbolizes or just represents your business, something maybe that looks exactly like the one that you have on your website or something. I mean, you might want to maybe have a picture of yourself. I don't know, would that be too egotistic? I don't have a picture of myself, but something like a picture, like a banner that represents your business. And then you might want to have some basic information. You can have like, oh, the word count of this reading is. You can put down like the crystals that you use, or the incense that you use, or the prayers that you used, the date of purchase, the date of completion, that kind of thing. I feel like all the basics should be there, and you should have like a default template for all of your readings. I have a default template for all my readings just because it saves me so much time in the future. So you're not just like creating each template every time you get a reading. You want to have a default template for your reading because it's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to help you organize your business so much better. And same thing with audio and video. I know like you can't really have a template, but I guess for audio and video you can always create a set intro, you know, like a set file in the whatever editing software that you're using, right? You can maybe have a little video beginning or something. And so that's the technical side, like having a template. And I think for audio and video, it's more important that you have like a sort of like an outline, like a default outline for how things are going to go down, especially when it's the live one, when it's actually face-to-face interaction. For example, like it's almost like a lesson plan. If you're a teacher, it's kind of like, so when you begin, you want to greet your client, or you want to like check it, you want to establish what question you're exploring, and then you do this, and then you pull cards, and then at the end of cards you might want to offer, say, review questions or journaling prompts or something, and then you close. It's kind of like you have a set structure when it comes to your sessions, like whatever session it may be, like you should have some kind of structure. And then as you go along, and the structure might evolve, or you might change based on what works and what doesn't. But I think you should think about what structure you're gonna have, like email, audio, video, or live sessions. Let's see, what other things about tarot reading. So ethics. So I think for me this was this was pretty easy for me personally. Like ethics is about like what you read for and what you don't read for, who you read for and who you don't read for. So this is really just like, I feel like a basic guideline would be like, you don't have to compare your ethics to anybody else. Everybody has a different comfort level and comfort zone. Basically anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you shouldn't do it, because that's a good sign of like, for you maybe disagreeing with that the perspective of that question or whatever, whoever comes to you, like fundamentally. For example, I would never accept like a medical reading just because I feel like I'm not a doctor, I can't provide a diagnosis. I mean, if you're going through some kind of sickness and you want to explore that healing journey from a psychological perspective or something, then sure, that's something I'm comfortable with. But if people just come to me, it's like, I have a back problem, why? I don't know, you should go to your doctor for that. But I think tarot is a good sort of supplement or just it's like a great source of support and love and compassion when it comes to like your own, like your journey, like how you interpret a journey and stuff like that, but it can't replace a doctor's diagnosis. So like that will be something I don't read for, so that will be part of my ethics. So you want to decide what you want to read for, what you don't want to read for. And I think a part of that is really knowing who you are, what your style is, the things that are important for you, how you believe tarot works for you, and how you define tarot, and then what do you offer like in a reading. And the readings you offer should align with your beliefs, obviously. It should align with your beliefs about how to positively move forward in life. I think it should really align with like what you believe is beneficial when it comes to helping a person. And you should always have that client's interest in mind. It should always be from a place of, it should always leave your client or your seeker at an empowered place. Like whatever perspectives that you take, you could read into the future, you could read into the past, you could just focus on the now, you could, or you're like me, you're more strength based, and it's about more how to tap into your power and embrace this particular moment. Whatever perspective or spectrum, wherever you fall in the tarot spectrum, I feel like the most important thing that unifies all tarot readers is like, or it's good tarot readers, is it should always be focused on empowering your client. This is how you can separate like scammers or people who are just trying to make money, I guess. Like if they're not like like if you don't really, if you aren't helped, or if you don't gain anything like an insightful, if you didn't gain anything in the sense that it didn't help you in any way, then what's a tarot reading for, right? It's meant to, like, I think at least it's how I sort of choose tarot readers. I always choose that, are they, like, where are they coming from? Like, are they trying to empower me, or they're trying to make money, or they're trying to scare me, so that I will pay them more money, stuff like that. Like, a reader should always leave you feeling empowered. But of course, there's also, like, sometimes the reading would ruffle your feathers, and then you might feel like a bit shitty in the beginning, but sometimes, there are readings like that. But anyway, I'm trolling off into a tangent, but ethics, right? You should know who you are and what you're comfortable with, and I think just follow your heart, really, in this regard. Like, if there's anything that you feel uncomfortable with, I think number one, you can kind of explore why. It could be, like, maybe from your personal shadow. I think there is, like, potential room for growth here, but I think for the most part, if it's consistently uncomfortable, then you should really, just make, like, you should recognize that is a sign of, like, where your boundaries are. Okay. And yeah, and I think, like, sometimes you just don't know until people ask you, like, and you realize that, oh, I'm actually uncomfortable about this topic. So don't be afraid to say no. I just feel like don't be afraid to say, like, change your ethics or change your policies or just add to your policies, and don't be afraid to say no to the client, because it's not going to be good for you or the client. Like, if it's something that you genuinely believe that isn't aligned with your truths or isn't aligned with your sort of tarot philosophies, then it's like, don't just say yes because you're afraid to lose the business, or you're afraid that this is a bad, or it's like a reflection of you as an incompetent reader or something. Like, no, it's just you have, it's a question that doesn't really, it's like think about it this way, it's a question that doesn't really tap into what you can really offer as a reader. It's like you can't be the best of yourself if you force yourself to answer this question or do this reading. So it's a lose-lose situation, really. I think if you really want to, like, if you're trying to, like, make a decision, like, just think, like, is it going to be win-win? Like, is it going to be, are we both, you and your clients or seekers, are you both going to be benefiting from this tarot reading, right? They can benefit, your clients can benefit from your wisdom and your perspective, and you can benefit from providing that service and sharing your wisdom with others and being of service. I said that, but like sharing your love and compassion. So if it's not win-win, don't do it. Right? It shouldn't be win-lose, lose-win. It should always be win-win. So that's a way to figure out what your ethics are, and I think just like a good way to figure out things in life in general. Like you should always go for win-win. I keep looking over there because I keep thinking the camera eye is there, but it's actually right here. Okay, so I know I sort of like also looking at my notes on the screen. Okay, so I talked about social media presence, consistent content, setting up your shop, and tarot readings. No, it's a little bit chaotic, but hopefully this is still like making sense. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about and to also close this video is like some little tips and tricks to help you organize everything digitally. Okay, so when you first start your business, make sure that you have really clearly labeled folders. You want to create a folder for your business, and you want to make sure that you have a system that kind of makes sense to you. Like you can separate content by, so you have a folder for Facebook, you have a folder for Instagram, and you have a folder for your shop, and you have a folder for this. You know, you should have some kind of structure, especially in the very beginning, or just kind of, you know, like revamp that structure as you go along, because sometimes you have new categories and stuff like that, but you should have folders. Yeah, so when you're setting up your business, or you're just maybe like you're already in the process of developing your business, or if you haven't done this, make sure you have an organized place on your laptop, or maybe you do in your binder or whatever, but you should have some kind of folder or tabs or categories that sorts everything into its supposed little corner. Because if you don't, trust me, you're going to suffer from scrambling to find things. Where is your template? Where is that custom reading that you saved? You want to make sure everything is clearly labeled. I know this might be super anal for some of you, but not for me, because I'm like an organization freak. But I also like, but you know what I mean? It's like you want to start from a very organized place, and this is gonna help you. Like, oh, it's gonna help you save so much time. I promise. It's like if you keep all your reading templates in one place, and you know exactly what to look for when you sit down and you want to start a reading, and that's just much more smoother experience. So make sure you label and organize everything, you know, based on your own logic. Obviously you can number everything based on days, chronological, or based on themes or whatever, just something that makes sense to you. But you should have some kind of system that organizes your folders or your binders or the notes that you keep, or the information that you need, or all the files that you might be using. Like for example, like you want to put, say, all your block banners or logos in one folder. You want to put all your social media sort of logos in one folder. You want to put like greetings, custom greetings, email greetings in one folder. And you want to put like all your reading templates in one folder, and you want to streamline everything, right? And and also like something that goes along with files, you want to make sure you name everything like really clearly, because sometimes you just don't remember where you put things, and you can use the search button to find it. For example, like maybe you're looking for readings template, but you can't find it, and maybe you missaved it, maybe it's like it is lost somewhere. But having clear labels, for example, like just give it like a really literal title. This is something that I do. Just be like, say, block banner with rabbit picture, or I don't know why rabbit, but something like, oh, reading template for a relationship, or twin flame relationship template reading. Something like that. Something like, make sure you put the keywords in there in the titles of those files, because it's going to help you find it really fast. Especially if you have an online business, you're going to accumulate a lot of digital files, and then it's going to be pure chaos if you don't have everything labeled. So do yourself a favor and label everything clearly. Have designated folders to sort out things that belonged with each other, and then when you can't find something, you can use the search function, and that's going to save you so much. You can find it in a matter of seconds. I can't snap, but just imagine there's a snapping found. Okay, yeah, it's just like these two like neat tricks are going to just save you so much time. later. I mean, like I'm like organization freak, like I said, but there's like sometimes I would kind of fall out of it, and I would just have randomly saved files all like lumped together in this one folder or this general folder, and it's just so. It's just a mess, really. It's just, you have like 20 files and then they're just like all over the place, and you're just like trying to find which one you worked on, and it's just like a headache. So like having designated folders and titling everything correctly it's just like, honestly, it'll save you so much time. And make sure you just follow that system, and make sure you save all the files into that designated folder every time you have to save that file. So don't just lump it in that one general file, because when it accumulates, it's gonna be a super headache, like I said. So yeah, organize your folders. And a good tool to organize your content is Microsoft OneNote. So basically OneNote is like, you can create notebooks digitally via OneNote, and you can have basically individual notebooks, you can have individual tabs, and for individual tabs you can have individual sections. It is such a powerful organization tool. I use this for everything. I use this for writing my novels, I use this to plan all my social media content, I use this to like organize everything, because it's just so easy to organize. And then there's like a lot of functions. It has all the basic text functions of Word, and you can like highlight everything. You can like just start typing anywhere on the screen. It auto saves. Did I mention that it auto saves every single second? So it's just like whatever you type, it's there, and then it just saves it automatically for you. It's just such a great tool. And it's also like you can link it to your cloud, so you can access this anywhere. I think a similar software would be like Evernote. I think Google Doc, but I feel like Google Doc doesn't have that organizational ability. So definitely recommend Microsoft OneNote. And also, if you're writing like a novel, this is also like a good software to use. But yeah. Okay, so I know like I talked about like a bunch of random things, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about for now in this video. I think I also want to make a video about like how you could, how I do tarot readings, because I don't know, maybe you're curious. But yeah, so that's all I have to say for now. But I think if you have any questions or you want me to expand on anything, feel free to leave it down in the YouTube comment section. And especially if you have questions about how to be productive and how to organize your stuff. I'm so good at that kind of thing. So make sure you ask, and I'll be happy to answer them. And until next time, level up life with tarot, be to hear your own story. And remember, always, I lost it. I was gonna say something cheesy, but just always believe in yourself and believe that you can and believe that your dreams are worth chasing. And if opening up a tarot shop or having an online tarot business is your dream, you just do it. Even if you just do a little bit of it, but you should just get started anyway, so just do it. Just do it. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. Anyhow, see you in the next video.